We're watching the pictures of those coaches carrying those Palestinian prisoners. We understand 110 of them are expected to be released today. The breakdown, according to Hamas Prisoner Media Office, is supposed to include 30 children, 32 prisoners sentenced to life imprisonment, 48 prisoners with high sentences. We understand that 9 of them are expected to be from Gaza, may well be heading back there, and 20, we believe, are supposed to be sent to Egypt, awaiting deportation for other countries. We're going to go to Hani Mahmoud in Gaza City and talk to him now. What kind of conditions are the prisoners going to be returning to, Hani?
Well, you know, those who are supposed to be coming to Gaza City or the Gaza Strip are going to be shocked by the level of devastation that's been caused for the past 15 months. And it's just to look at what's going on for the past few days and seeing people returning to their homes, and the fact that they are faced with many of the challenges that are literally their journey back to their homes, making their hope, making their excitement and joy to fade away in the face of these challenges and many of the difficulties it created on the ground. But the fact many of these prisoners are coming back to Gaza, and we don't know who are their families yet, whether their families are still alive or not, whether they were killed in these attacks, in the past attacks or not, whether any one of them is still surviving, the homes that they're going to be living in, are they still standing or not? We're talking about 9 of these prisoners or Palestinians, prisoners coming released today and coming to Gaza, whether they are from north or Gaza City or the southern part of the strip. Every inch that they will be going to from the time they're crossing the borders and the Red Cross vehicles into the road that they will take, the very road they will take, Salhut road, is quite devastated. So from the first inch stepping into Gaza, they will see the devastation that it was caused and is still being caused by suffocating the entire Gaza Strip. They will be challenged by the lack of many of the basic necessities available that are not available across the Gaza Strip: the water, the food, the fact that there is no shelter for them. It feels more of like walking into a prison. It's true that they're free. Their surviving family members are happy for them to be free to come back and be released from the prisons, because for the past years, those Palestinians who were detained in Israeli jails, close to 300 of them died inside Israeli jails, inside the cells, either because of the hunger strikes, because of the starvation, because of the torture and dehumanization. So for these people to be released and to allowed to come back to their families in Gaza, it's more of a resurrection for them, because none of these families expected their children, their loved ones, their family members are going to see the day of the light out of the Israeli jail. So it's more of walking into a different kind of life that is, for the most part, similar to what they experienced in the past.
Hani, stick around for a couple of minutes, if you don't mind. That's Hani Mahmoud talking to us there from Gaza City, because I want to go to Tareq again, Tareq Abu Azzoum, who's in Khan Younis. Now, one of the reasons why we have seen this delay in the freeing of the Palestinian prisoners that we're watching at the moment on our screens, we can see the buses there carrying the prisoners that they have left Ofer prison. They're making their way to a dispersion point. Tareq, one of the reasons for that delay, according to the Israeli Prime Minister, was because of the scenes that we saw in Khan Younis when one of the Israeli captives was released. You were there, I understand. Can you just talk us through what it was that you saw?
Well, yeah, the scene in the city of Khan Younis was very overwhelming and chaotic in terms of the numbers of civilians who attended the release of the Israeli captives. The mechanism of releasing those captives had done under very tough security circumstances. But what has been so remarkable over the course of the past few hours is the release of those captives in simultaneous and different geographical locations across the Gaza Strip. It has been a very clear result and even a reason for the Israeli government to delay the release of the Palestinian prisoners till such hours. And at the other end of this road, families continue to wait their beloved ones to be released. As we have spoken to them, they expressed their happiness and their joy, waiting to embrace them once they arrive to the European hospital in the southern part of the Gaza Strip.
Tareq, thanks very much indeed. That's Tareq Abu Azzoum talking to us there from Khan Younis. As Tareq's just talking to us, we're just seeing scenes here which the Israeli military had wanted to avoid, which was a crowd of what we understand may well be Palestinians, but we're not sure. We don't know the area that they're going through specifically at the moment, but they approached the coaches there, they approached the soldiers. They started throwing what appeared to be rocks. The soldiers, the military, has responded with tear gas and flashbang grenades, and you can just see them there. There's the military making their way through the streets. The ambulance is at the far end. Let's go to Hamdah Salhut, who is in Amman for us, and that's because the Israeli authorities have banned us from reporting inside, has stopped us from reporting inside Israel. Hamdah, this is exactly the kind of scene that the Israeli military did not want to see and were taking pains to try to avoid by taking the coaches through a specific route that one would imagine they thought they could control.
That's right. Let's take you through the prisoner releases that have happened over the last couple of weeks. In the first week, we saw the prisoner release happen very late at night because Israeli authorities were quite clear that they did not want to see anybody celebrating. So it happened around 3 a.m. local time. But look, the prisoners were still greeted by large crowds of Palestinians waiting for them, even though Israeli forces had raided Beitunia, they had fired tear gas, they were trying to push the family members away. It's not just at Ofer, but they're actually in Beitunia currently firing at people trying to approach these buses. Now, in the second week, Israeli forces had also said the same type of thing, that they do not want these prisoners to be greeted by large crowds. However, they were. This is occupied territory. The Palestinians want to greet their prisoners. Again, we've been reporting the issue of prisoners tugs at the heartstrings of Palestinians because everybody knows someone who is either detained or has a relative who's been arrested, and Israeli forces this week have spread the same message, even dropping flyers across the occupied West Bank, warning Palestinians not to celebrate, warning them not to carry any sort of banner or flag representative of any sort of Palestinian fighting group or faction, saying that they are being watched and there would be repercussions if they did just that. So what Israeli forces are trying to do now is prevent any sort of display of joy or celebration. The Israel Prison Service released a statement before the first release of Palestinian prisoners 2 weeks ago, saying that they are going to suppress and limit any sort of joy, any sort of celebration, because they do not want this celebrated. To them, this is a cost that they have to pay in order to bring back Israeli captives from Gaza. However, to the Palestinians, they want to see their loved ones too, their prisoners who have been in Israeli jails for decades under conditions that have deteriorated over the years, especially under National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, the former National Security Minister now, who one of his main agenda items when coming into office with this right-wing government in Israel was to worsen the conditions, was to worsen the amount of food, to limit the amount of water that prisoners got. So the conditions that these Palestinians are coming out of are described as torture and abuse. So the Palestinian families just want to greet their loved ones, and Israeli forces and Israeli authorities say very clearly that they want to limit any sort of joy or celebrations among the people.
Hamdah, for now, thank you very much indeed, Hamdah Salhut there, bringing us up to date from Amman. The pictures that we're looking at the moment are live pictures from Ramallah. These are crowds of, we understand, families and friends, supporters of the Palestinian prisoners who are currently making their way in coaches from Ofer prison and another prison, we understand, in another part of Israel towards dispersal areas. The crowd's obviously expecting that arrival fairly soon. But as Hamdah was describing, of course, the Israeli security services have been making it very clear they expect no celebrations, they expect no adulation, no crowd reaction at all when the prisoners arrive. Obviously, we're going to be watching this situation very closely just to see what that reaction is.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.